Hello everyone. My name is Hengafak Mavis Aten and I'm a student at Konkan University and study International Business Management. And today I will be presenting a research paper titled Generation X, Y, Z's Brand Attitude and Purchase Intention in Response to International Fashion Brands, Udon Thani, Thailand. Okay, let's start with the introduction. Research background. According to Kaiser, fashion is an aesthetic expression in a particular time, location, and precise context of shoes, ways of living, makeup, hairstyle, accessories, clothes, as well as body size. And fashion is a tool that shapes our lifestyles and other aspects of our life. For fashion brands to be successful and competitive within the fashion industry, it is important to effectively execute marketing activities. International fashion brands are brands produced internationally but marketed in other countries with the same brand name. For example, like Chanel, Louis Vuitton, H&M, Dior, Shein, etc. And Udon Thani is an area of economic opportunity located next to a neighboring country. People in Udon Thani are influenced by Western culture, and international fashion brands have been used to show individual status. Next is the research question. Now, the first research question is, are Gen X, Y, and Z in Udon Thani different in terms of their brand attitude and purchase intention towards international fashion brands? And how can self-control influence their brand attitude and purchase intention? So from the research question, this research has two objectives. The first one is to compare Gen X, Y, Z in relation to their brand attitude and purchase intention towards international fashion brands. And the second aim is to use independent and interdependent self-control to investigate the influence of cultural differentiation between Gen X, Y, Z, brand attitude, and purchase intention in response to international fashion brands. So, part two is the literature review. Let's look at the definition of the key variable. The first is generation. Generation can be defined biologically as the average gap of time between the birth of parents and their offspring, and they can be grouped into builders, baby boomers, Gen X, Y, and Z, but our research focused mainly on Gen X, Y, and Z. Gen X was born from 1965 to 1979 and they account for 27% of Thai population. Gen Y, on the other hand, also called millennial, are those born between 1980 to 1994, and this generation account for 28% of Thai population. Gen Z was born from 1995 to 2010, and they can be classified into two separate markets, teens and tweens. The next variable is fashion branding. Fashion branding is the process by which designers, distributors, customers, consumers, producers, strategists, creative directors, retailers, or fashion sellers form campaigns and give fashion attires a distinctive identity. And the third variable is international branding. International branding is an example of international communication among marketers and consumers from diverse cultures. The fourth variable is self-control. Self-construct, according to Singley, refers to an individual's thoughts, feelings, and actions according to actions concerning relationships to others, as well as the self as distinct from others. And there are two types of self-control. The first one is independent self-control, which implies increased separation from social context. The second is interdependent self-control, which signifies enhanced connectedness. Now, Marcos and Kitayama's concept of independent and interdependent self-control was used as a theoretical framework to inspect the possible impact of the cultural differentiation. The theory of independent and interdependent self-control is an important strategy to understand consumers' attitude towards purchasing international fashion brands. The fifth variable is brand attitude. Attitude is the volume of influence for or against some object. Attitude towards the brand is an individual's internal evaluation of the brand. And attitude is a renowned research topic in advertising studies for two reasons. Firstly, it is significant in predicting consumer behavior, and secondly, a lot of theoretical frameworks based on the research of attitude are accessible from social psychological researchers. The last variable is purchase intention. Purchase intention occurs when a consumer plans in advance to buy some particular product or services in the future, which might or might not be accomplished based on the individual's ability to carry out. And purchase intention is an important construct in marketing literature, and companies use it to determine the sales of new products or the repurchase of existing products. So, from the research, this is the proposed conceptual model, and from the conceptual model, we have four hypotheses. Hypothesis 1, generation influences brand attitude towards international fashion brands. Hypothesis 2, generation influences purchase intention towards international fashion brands. Hypothesis 3, self-control influences brand attitude towards international fashion brands. And the fourth hypothesis, self-control affects purchase intention towards international fashion brands. Now let's look at the methodology. The required sample size was 400, and the sample formula of Yemen was used to determine the sample size. Gen X at 100, Gen Y 150, and Gen Z 150. So, measuring the scales, scales were adopted from previous research, and these scales were adopted and translated to time, and 7-point Likert type scale was used to measure the second part of the survey, ranging from 1, which is strongly disagree, to 7, which is strongly agree. Data collection. It was a self-administered questionnaire by Google Form, and the age range was above 16 years in the family, and 15 people had a pre-test of the survey. That's 5 from each generation. IBM SPSS statistics was used, and Conrad alpha was used to calculate the reliability value. ANOVA and regression analysis uh, were used to analyze the influence of independent variables on the dependent variables. Next is the result. Okay, among the four hypotheses, the first one, the first hypothesis was rejected. Uh, The difference among Gen X, Y, and Z were not statistically significant, as demonstrated by one-way removal, and the second hypothesis was accepted. The purchase intention level of Gen X is statistically lower than Gen Y and Gen Z. However, no significant differences were detected between Gen Y and Gen Z. Hypothesis 3, equally accepted. The two types of self-control, independent self-control and interdependent self-control, significantly increase brand attitude. The fourth hypothesis is equally accepted. Independent self-control and interdependent self-control influence purchase intention. And this is the statistical results. Conclusion. This study reveals that Generation X versus Y versus Z have an insignificant influence on brand attitude. Generation X versus Y and X versus Z significantly influence purchase intention, while Generation Y versus Z do not. Therefore, Gen Y and Gen Z have the same intention to purchase international fashion brands as compared to Gen X. Self-control also has significant influence on brand attitude and purchase intention. The theoretical implication contribution, the result found that when X, Y, and Z have the same attitude towards international fashion brands, and this is related to the study of Masaya Van Eek, that Thai consumers from generation X, Y, and Z have favorable attitude towards international products and world brands. And it identified a new research area of generation self-control, attitude, and purchase intention in the context of international fashion brands and contribution in the context of expansion to non-farming. It added to the cross-cultural consumer behavior sector by using Marcos and Kitayama's theory of independent and interdependent self-control. For managerial implications, marketing managers should pay attention to this research. This study provides important implications to international fashion brand retailers by showing that one generation does not fit all and one strategy does not fit all markets. Marketers should focus on Gen Y and Z with high purchase intention first, then Gen X. And this helps international fashion brand marketers to understand the similarities and differences of consumer values in different generations and formulate marketing strategies like advertisement under the theme of relationship and growth to boost revenue. Limitations and recommendations. This study uh, the brand attitude and purchase only study the brand attitude and purchase intention in the international fashion brand context. Previous studies could expand in the knowledge of brand image or brand communication. Other types of research methods like focus group and qualitative research could be used. A future research could also be done in comparison between some other countries' consumers. Thank you for your attention.